we were about 8 months pregnant, 7.5 months pregnant with our second kiddo. And we had a 3-year-old daughter, and she was about as boring as you can get for a kid. I mean, I think maybe she had a rash one time when she was real little. I mean, she just, everything was easy with her. The pregnancy was easy. I think it was easy for me. But everything was easy, and that was just kind of what we expected the second time around. You went in for an appointment, just a regular appointment one day, and what happened there?
With those routine monthly visits, they do all sorts of measurements, and I actually was measuring a month behind in growth. So basically, I was 4 weeks behind in growth, which triggered our doctor, to have a specialized ultrasound to really check the baby's growth and kind of see where things were at. Let's just take tabs and see if this is just anything to be concerned about.
Just a couple days later, we went to just get a regular ultrasound, and confirmed that the baby wasn't developing at the rate that it was supposed to be. And so then we got referred to the high risk pregnancy doctors in St. Mary's.
When the doctors take that pause and they say, okay, your baby is measuring under 10% of the national average of this growth, and when babies are under that growth amount, that flags some pretty red flags.
I mean, I think honestly, there was a little bit of fear that, there might be a chance that we don't meet this little person.
We decided to find out that it was a baby girl, so we could be specifically praying for her, and to at least for me, know her in the amount of time that I may have only been given. We've been given.
Some of the risks that they were concerned about were chromosomal deformities, so Down syndrome or something like that. Worried that the baby wasn't getting enough nutrients from the placenta, and that can create a bunch of problems. And there was a higher risk of being stillborn at that point. So that I think that's when the fear for us, for me anyway, was at its peak. I mean, I really personally had to walk through, okay, God, what is going on here? I mean, how am I supposed to walk through this? How am I supposed to lead my family through this? And it was just a really tough time.
I felt extremely helpless. Because as a mom and as parents, you want to fix it, and you want to make it all beautiful and magical in the way that you've pictured having and growing and raising this family. And I think that's what's even in parenthood so challenging, that God uses to call us to Him, to say, trust me. Trust me through this. You have to trust me in this moment. And that's what, we really, after struggling for some time, several weeks into this, really started to surrender.
The things that we worried about began to be replaced with trusting the sovereignty of God, and that He holds not only, this baby's life in His hands, but our lives too. And that became kind of our prayer.
Well, then she grew. And I think in it all, having this small child, there were no abnormal deficiencies with her chromosomes. She was proportionate, just tiny.
Well, and that,
just tiny.
I think that brings up a good point too, because the doctors asked us a couple of times, like, do you want to have tests to find out if the baby has, Down syndrome or any of these other issues? And for us, I think that even was a test of faith, to say, you know what, God's got this. And finding that out doesn't really change the game for us.
It wouldn't change how we would parent and love this child.
Yeah, by the time we actually got to delivery date, she was small,
but
just
out of the, and
just
so therefore
everything.
that was just going to be a normal induction. And our beautiful daughter, Ella Claire, was born in November, healthy,
perfectly healthy,
didn't need any other type of support.
Tiny.
We were able to transition beautifully and take her home within 2 days. I mean, it's miraculous. Facing our fear, or my fear specifically, through this is very simple, is trust God.
God can use fear in your life to build your faith up and to show you in ways, show you who He is, show you His character in ways that you wouldn't be able to see if you just always played it safe, or you never had to walk through those moments in your life where you had fear that you had to walk through.